Here's how I've been thinking about this time thing, right? So I've been thinking about it on three levels. So for 1D, 2D, 3D. So 1D time would be one direction time, where you can either go forwards or backwards in time. Don't really experience it backwards, but the equations do allow for it. So in that one, you'd be, in order to get from T1 to T4, you'd have to travel through T2 and T3, right? So it's just one direction. You can think of it as you inside of a tube, and you can only go forward or backwards, like a train. Um, yeah. Uh, oh, T2, right? On two dimensions. So the second dimension would be, if you be a flat plane, right? Be a flat plane like that. Whereby if you want to avoid T2 and T3, right, in your tunnel, you'd go out of like this one direction into the second direction, which would be left and right, and then around and then back into that moment, having skipped T2 and T3. And that's how you'd be going about avoiding that, right? Two dimensions. You'd see like this. You think about this before we start talking about three-dimensional time is that the way you experience the world, how you see it with our eyes, at least with light, is that we see one dimension lower than yourself. So if you're a one-dimensional creature, you see zero dimensions. You see like a point. Two-dimensional creature sees lines, right? You see like lines everywhere. That's one dimension. It's just one continuous line. Even though you're traveling through two dimensions, you can only see one line, one dimension. 3D, we see the two-dimensional planes around us. Just to clear that up, in three dimensions, we experience a two-dimensional representation of our three-dimensional world. So we always see, a two-dimensional picture, but our brain makes us think that it's 3D with the whole idea of depth. To think about this, right, is that before we continue, if you are a creature in a specific dimension, you can always traverse obstacles that are one dimension lower than you by traveling in the direction that the dimension lower than you does not have, right? So, i.e., if I'm a creature like two dimensions, and you draw a box on me, right? I can't escape. But if I'm three dimensions and you draw a box on me, I can just step over the lines. You see. Finally, three-dimensional time. Now I'm still thinking about this part, right? But effectively, you'd in this two-dimension in this plane of time, right? If there's a moment that you do not want to travel in, instead of having to go like that direction and like kind of go like like kind of in the same plane, but like you just around it like that, you can step over it entirely, right? Just entirely into a dimension that's way above it, right? And that's how you traverse that one singular moment, right? Um, yeah, that's how I've been thinking about it. But yeah, now after getting my full page blown up by this type of stuff, right? I saw this idea of thinking of time as like a complex plane, right? And that made me think of some really interesting stuff, right? Because complex analysis, like shapes and whatever, and like if you were to see it in a complex plane, would you be able to like have pockets of time and like see your time as like sets? It's like you have like this set of particular moments and this set of particular moments, and then then you have ideas of connectors. So like if you have like, let's say, that weird shape of time as like one boundary of time, one experience of time, and you want to experience one that other there, and you can only travel through moments that are within your weird like zone of time. That was really interesting stuff that I started thinking about. And maybe you can have like different pockets of time, and maybe that's how like multiple dimensions of time, or like like I don't know, it's cool stuff.